Assalamualaikum. My name is Zulfakri bin Muhammad Rashid. So today I will present about individual assignment in SRT Seat 05, which is statistic in sport and behavioral science. For the question 1, I get a data set 1, which is cholesterol. And if Mal want to identify any significant differences in mean of cholesterol level between group A and group B. Before we start to collect the data, we need to check the key point. There are 4 key points that we need to know, which is first, independent variable, which is group, and the dependent variable we we get for the cholesterol level, and for observation we get independent sample, which is independent test, and lastly is distribution of data, which is the test of normality. And for the assumption, uh, uh, we get cholesterol level is a numerical data, which is dependent variable. The second one is random sample, and the third one is the sample are independent, which is group A and group B. Okay, now I will show you how to test the normality. So I already fill in the data in SPSS. Now we will run the normality in this question, is normal or not. First, we need to click analyze and go to this statistic. Now we click to explore. Okay, now as you can see, the cholesterol level we put in the dependent list box, and the group in the factor list box. Now we click statistic and make sure the confidence interval for mean is 95%, and click outliers. Now click continue, click plots, and make sure to click the histogram and normality plots with test. Click continue, click OK. So this is the result of the data that we get. First, we must look at the test of normality. As we know, the participant for this question have 20 participants, which is not more than 50. So it's participant not more than 50. We must use the Shapiro-Wilk. We just only see it in the Shapiro-Wilk box. And second, we must see in significance. As we can see, the significance group is group A and group B is greater than 0.05. Based on the p-value greater than 0.05, it will become normally distributed. After we identify this is normal, which is parametric, as we know, if independent sample we get normal. So now I will show you how to do the independent test. So we go to the analyze and click to the compare means and click independent sample to test. For test variable, we put cholesterol level in test variable, and grouping we need to put group 1 and 2. Now we click option. We need to make sure the confidence interval percentage is 95%, and click continue, then click OK. Now you can see this is the result of the independent sample test. First, we must know is equal variance assumptions. which is see the significance for the p-value is 0.147, which is lower than, sorry, is greater than 0.05. So we go to the significant to tail, uh, and the p-value uh, which is 0.007. This value is less than alpha 0.05. Okay, now I will uh, I'll go for the assumption for this test. For the independent variable, which is the group A and B, and for the dependent variable, which is the cholesterol level, and the observation, we get the independent sample, which is independent t-test, and the distribution of the data is uh, the test normality. Now I will state for the hypothesis for this question 1. Okay. First is there is no significant in mean of the cholesterol level between group A and group B. So the second hypothesis that I can get there, which is there is a significance in mean of cholesterol level between group A and group B. Okay, now we going to answer the question for the question 2. I get the data set 2, which is scar. Iskandar want to compare the change of scar area of the burns patient before and after treatment. Measurement are taken 1 day before and one after, 1 week after treatment. Okay, now let's go to the next point. Okay, for the key point, we have 4 key points that we want to investigate. First, which is independent variable, measurement of the scar before and after. For the dependent variable, which is scar area, and the observation, which is dependent sample, and we use the pair t-test. Uh, Distribution of data, we use the test normality. Okay, next for the assumption, scar areas are numerical, which is dependent variable. Next, the random sample, all observations are dependent on each other, and lastly, the observation leaf are normally distributed. Okay, before we start, we run the normality. We have to identify the difference between score before and after. Okay, first we need to uh, click the transform and click the compute variable. Then type difference in target variables, and in the numeric expression we need to put before treatment first, then put the symbol, then put the after treatment, then click OK. Okay, now in the data we can see the difference has in the data. Now I will show you how to run the normality for question 2. Is to check either the data is normal or not. Click analyze, go to discrete statistics, and go to explore, and click difference, put in dependent variable, dependent list, click plot, and click histogram and normalities plot, then click continue, click statistic, and check the confidence interval for means mass 95%, and click outliers, continue, and click OK. Okay, now you can see the result as shown. Okay, so now I will show you the result. This is the result for the normality. So we can see the result for participant is 20. We must choose the subfavorable, and then we can see the difference of significance value here. Okay, the p value is which is 0.133, which is more than 0.05. So if the p value is more greater than 0.05, it will become normally distributed. Okay, so we can see on the histogram, the data is normal. On the q plot, show that the point situated uh, along the line and not so far from the line, it will become normally distributed and will not have the outliers. So now we know that the question is normally distributed. If dependent simple sample become normal, I distribute or parastatic, so we must choose a paired sample test. Okay, so now I will show you how to run the pair t-test. First, we need to click Analyze, go to Compare Means, and go to the pair sample t-test. Okay, for the variable 1, we need to put the before treatment, then for the variable 2, we put the after treatment. Okay, then click OK. So now you can see the pair sample t-test result is shown. So now I will show you the result of pair sample t-test. There we can see at significance total, which is 0.000. Now I will set the hypothesis and a level of significance. For the null, there is no significant difference the change of score area of the burn patient before and after. uh, after treatment. While for the hypothesis, there is significant difference in change of score area the burn patient before and after treatment. Now, next, I will explain the result and also interpretation. For the decision rule, first we must reject the null if p-value is less than 0.05, and we do not reject the null if the p-value is greater than 0.05. So my decision for the question 2 is if the p-value 0.00 is less than 0.05, so we must reject the null. The test will become significant. Last, I will make the conclusion based on the result. In the conclusion, there is a significant difference the change of score area of the burn patients before and after treatment. So that's all for me. Thank you.